Hi everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. So you guys seem to really enjoy my last animated movie, so today we're going to be doing something a little bit similar, and today we have some artists who turn famous cartoon characters into real people. So without further ado, let's introduce the video. We're counting today 10 cartoon characters transformed into real people. So if we can do the same and reach 1,000 likes again, I'll reproduce a similar video very much like this in the future, and just take a while and look at some of these amazing drawings that some of these people have created. I think the person who created most of these drawings, her name is quite hard to pronounce, but I'm going to give it a go. Astik Rakimova, who is an artist who transforms your favourite animated characters into real people. So without further ado, let's get straight into this. I hope you enjoy it, and let's go. So at number 10, we have SpongeBob SquarePants. This is the lovable cartoon character that we all know and love. However, as a human, he would actually look really cool. So obviously the very famous square character, I used to watch this all the time. SpongeBob was one of my favourite shows, and he's very distinctive and very cute, I'll give it that. If you're a girl, then yeah, you'll probably be like just all in at how cute he is. But anyway, yeah, in the show he's like 20 or 30, but as a cartoon character he looks a lot younger. But they got a lot of details right in this animation. For example, the tie, the shirt, even like you can see the pants there as well. And very really detail is the gap in the middle of his teeth that he has. It's very distinctive. And also they also put a lot of moles and stuff on him to replicate the holes in the sponge. So very similar animation, and this was very cool in my opinion. One of the best ones I've ever seen. It's so awesome. So Angry Birds was an iPhone game to start off with. It was a very popular application on your iOS or whatever you had, and yeah, 90% of the time you were probably someone playing it on the toilet. But anyway, in this animation it turned into real life. The person looks very similar. Obviously it's a red-headed guy, and he looks a lot meaner than he would be as a freaking bird anyway. But yeah, this has actually progressed into a lot of stuff. Like Angry Birds have their own movie now, which is kind of ridiculous and a little bit cringy. But yeah, this is what potentially the guy would look like in real life. Obviously there's no distinction whether the people would be white or black or Asian or Hispanic or whatever. But yeah, the artist just kind of gave his representation on what it would be like, probably by the accent, I'm not too sure. But yeah, a red shirt to kind of symbolize like the redness, and then the white tuft in the middle of the bird kind of symbolizes like maybe like a shirt could go in there. So very good to kind of copy these things over, and these artists are just amazing. So next up we have an animation that was actually made in 2008 called Bolt. You guys probably heard about it. It didn't get the best reviews, but it had a very famous kind of lineup. So in this film we have the likes of Miley Cyrus and even John Travolta, who actually played the main character. Anyway, in this animation we have the dog and the cat transformed into humans. So we have Mittens and Bolt actually transformed into humans, and if you guys watch this film, then this would be very special to you. I never actually got the chance to really watch a lot of these films, but yeah, most of them I might have seen. But yeah, especially this one I didn't, especially, I don't know, it just didn't really stand out to me. But if you guys have seen the film, then you'll definitely like get the resemblance between these two characters. And yeah, let me know how accurate you think these people would look in real life, if you'd make any changes or anything to the characters that were transformed, because they look pretty spot on to me, especially the SpongeBob one. It really stood out to me as a really good representation as he would look in real life. So next up we actually have Donkey from Shrek. So Donkey is a very popular animated character from obviously Shrek, which has been just memed into like, you just can't watch a film normally now without thinking of Shrek is love, Shrek is life. But anyway, yeah, Donkey, this is the representation of what he would look like in real life. So obviously you actually have the Mohican that Donkey sort of has that is split by his ears, and yeah, this is a pretty accurate representation. Donkey's actually played by Eddie Murphy in real life, and that guy on the right doesn't really look a lot like him, but yeah, I can kind of get the resemblance. He kind of has a sort of like a African American accent, and yeah, that's pretty spot on. Yeah, the guy looks a little bit dopey as well, which is kind of Donkey's sort of personality as well. So, and also I really like how Donkey has like a little white patch of like fur in the middle, and to replace that in real life they actually put like a white top in or whatever they're wearing, so that's very cool to me. So next up we actually have a personal favourite. This is actually a really cool representation, and I'm pretty sure it's really spot on. So Kung Fu Panda is obviously a very popular movie, and it was actually transformed into a TV show that wasn't the most popular thing in the world, but I watched a few of them when I was a little bit younger. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that. So this is what apparently he would look like in real life. Now he's played as a white Caucasian man, and he's actually put as bald, which is a little bit accurate because obviously he has no like outstanding tufts of hair on top of his head. He kind of has a circle head, so they kind of represented that in real life. And yeah, if there's anyone this kind of resembles of, he just has a very perfectly round egg head. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's very accurate. And yeah, he's played by Jack Black, and the animation of him in real life doesn't look anything like him, but a very cool representation of what it would look like in real life. So this next one really stands out as something that is so accurate and spot on. So next up we actually have the squirrel from Ice Age transformed into a man in real life. This one's very cool. They even got the nose right, like the nose or the beak kind of represented as a nose is really cool. They also have the bulging eyes, and instead of a tail he actually has like a beaver like skin on his head to use as a hat that kind of represents the tail. And yeah, I could just really see this in the movies if they replaced it. It wouldn't be that far off or far-fetched. This one was really cool, and you could just see this guy kind of, because the squirrel in the movie is always looking for like his acorns and stuff, you can see this guy also trying to like represent that in scavenging items and stuff. As you can see, this guy's quite poor, and he doesn't look like the most trustworthy person in the world. But yeah, the squirrel was always one of my most favourite characters in animated movies. So next up we have Lady and the Tramp. Now this one is amazing. I love how they got the facial expression to like perfection of both of the characters. So we actually have Lady and the Tramp there. This is the famous scene where they are both eating spaghetti and they kind of kiss because they hold on to the same piece of spaghetti, and it's been replicated in many films and everything ever since. And yeah, I just love how they even got the same necklaces, and the shirt is like white, which kind of represents the tuft of hair in the middle, which is white. And yeah, everything's kind of spot on here. They kind of gave him like really similar, like really messy hair, which represents all of his fur, which is a bit messy, and a sort of greyish shirt, which obviously represents his fur. And also with Lady as well, she has ginger hair, and it just looks so much similar to what she would look like in real life that it's kind of ridiculous. So definitely a massive congratulations to the artist for doing all these. These are amazing. So up next we have the Hyenas from The Lion King. Now we have a very kind of like serious character who's kind of always the boss in the middle. We have the one that's kind of like the more like the brawler on the left, who's like really like tough, and on the right we have the dopey one, which is kind of represented in a lot of films as like a trio, which is kind of needed to make a lot of comedy and things stand out in films. They kind of use three characters to represent all kinds of personalities, and in real life these guys are represented as a lot more scarier than in the film. It's a good thing that they are animated, otherwise they would look very sinister. But yeah, these animations kind of are exactly spot on, except for the one on the right. Instead of like dopey, it just looks completely insane. It's kind of creepy. But yeah, it's a good thing this wasn't a real animated show, because that would be quite terrifying, especially to little kids watching, as yeah, they just look a lot more serious in this animated section. So next up we actually have Simba and Nala, and you guys can probably guess where this is from. It is from the very popular Lion King. Now this is a lot of people's favourite movies. This was a really good movie. Disney can't stop making really good movies, especially like even like recently. Kind of companies go down over the years, but Disney just keep making bangers. and the most popular one is probably Frozen, which was only released a few years ago. Now, yeah, this was a really cool animation, because these animations are really easy to replicate in real life. I think Disney did a really good job on kind of making characters represent real life, like, people really well. Like the ginger hair kind of looks very replicated of like how someone could look in real life. So the lions and like the characters that are animals can be represented into real people to make real role models for kids. So yeah, I think that's what they tried to do. So it's very easy to kind of transform these in real life. But these animations are still really cool, and must have taken a long time. You have to be a very talented person to replicate this. So finally, we have one that isn't from the very talented artist that actually drew the rest of these pictures. We actually have one that was replicated in the TV show itself. So next up we have Family Guy's very own Brian. And Brian is a very much loved character. He's one of my favourites from Family Guy, and when they announced that they were going to kill him off, I was quite upset, but obviously they brought him back. But anyway, yeah, in the road to the multiverse, which is an episode of Family Guy, Brian and Stewie go to a world which is full of dogs and humans, but their roles are switched. So humans turn into dogs and dogs turn into humans. And yeah, the dogs just control the world while they have pet humans. And yeah, there is a human version of Brian and a dog version of Stewie. So I thought this was really cool, and yeah, I'm going to put this in because this is probably the only one on this list which you can actually see animated, and one that actually walks and talks as well, which is really cool. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I did a very similar video a couple of days ago showing kids cartoon characters 10 years in the future. So as you can see on screen, we have Dora the Explorer on how she would look in the future. So check that out, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.